After you've enrolled a customer, you can add and edit their activities. Activities are added underneath the employment plan goals. Therefore, a goal must be added to the employment plan in order to add the activities. As explained in the enrollment training video, there is a default goal that is added. So all of your activities that you added when you enrolled that customer should be added under that default goal. To find the employment plan, go to the Employment Plan Case Management tab at the top of the customer's record. Here, you'll find the default goal to complete the program and all of the activities that we added when we enrolled that customer. You'll notice that some of them have a status that says planned/not started. That means that activity has not been opened or started with that customer. We need to do that in order to make sure that the customer is enrolled in that activity. A best practice is to keep the activities updated and make sure that estimated end dates are edited and extended if the activity goes longer than originally planned. Make sure when your customer completes an activity and moves on to a new one, that you close out the old activity, add the end date, and then add the new activity to their employment plan with a started open start date. Each customer enrolled in SNAP ENT must be enrolled in at least one SNAP ENT activity. In addition, the new SNAP ENT customer must be enrolled in a SNAP ENT activity prior to starting job retention. I'll repeat that. Job retention cannot be the first SNAP ENT activity someone is enrolled in. They must be enrolled in a SNAP ENT activity prior to starting job retention. To add a new activity, click on the Add Activities button at the top. You'll see that activities are categorized. SNAP ENT activities are those which are included in the Illinois State Plan and have been approved by FNS, the Department of Agriculture Food and Nutrition Service. Those are official SNAP ENT activities. Other activities are allowable activities for customers enrolled in SNAP ENT, but are not officially part of the Illinois SNAP ENT program. Customers cannot be enrolled in other SNAP ENT activities exclusively. A customer must be enrolled in at least one SNAP ENT official activity to be considered enrolled in SNAP ENT in the state of Illinois. To add an activity, find the activity you'd like, and then click on Add next to that activity. If it's a new activity for that customer, you'll see that that activity is added to the top of their employment plan. In order to open or start the activity, you must edit that activity. You can do that using the blue pencil icon. We will cover editing an activity in the next section. If you need to delete an activity, you can click the red X next to that activity. Adding a more complex activity, like a transitional job, may require more information than a simple SNAP ENT activity. Click on Add Activities, choose the transitional job activity, and then click on that blue pencil to edit the activity. You must associate the activity with a goal like any other activity. Then you'll see a list of work sites here where you can place that customer in the transitional job or on the job training. These must be added in advance to the program level information. If the work site you want to choose is already available, you can simply click Add. Then you can enter any other critical information. Fields with a red asterisk are required to save your activity. To edit an activity, click on the blue pencil next to that activity's name. Make sure that it's associated with the appropriate goal, and then change the status to started/open. Choose a planned start date and a planned completion date. And then estimate the average weekly hours that customer will spend in that activity. Add any other kind of notes that you need here. You also can click on Show More Situations, and that will give you some additional situations that you may need to plan around for that activity. Click on the Service Provider tab at the top and ensure that your organization is set as the service provider for that activity. And then click on Update Customer Service. ISETS will ask you to add a case note. Save that case note. And your customer service has been updated successfully. To go back to the Activities and Services, click on the Add Activities and Services short link at the top. Now you can see that activity has a started/open status with a start date here. If I need to change that, I can click on the blue pencil again. Again, save your case note. When a customer completes an activity, that activity should be closed. When a customer is exited from Snap ENT altogether, all open activities must be closed. Once a customer starts an activity, do not delete an existing activity or change the start date of the activity. This is because data related to the dates of the activity will be lost. This activity will no longer show up in the 4333 for the months they were originally involved in the activity. To close an activity, find the customer in ISETS and open the Activities Case Management tab. Click on Next Steps for the goals and choose the activity you would like to close. This will take you directly to the activity. Change the status to the appropriate status and enter the completion date. Go back to the Activities and Services, and you'll be able to see that that activity is now closed. It's marked as successful completion, and there is a completion date associated with it. After you've enrolled a customer, you can also add and edit their supportive services. Services are added underneath an employment plan goal, just like an activity. Therefore, a goal must be associated with the employment plan in order to add a service. As previously mentioned in the Enrolling Customers training video, when the customer is enrolled, a default goal is automatically added. Costs can also be added underneath supportive services, where costs are not added under activities. Costs should be added and dated within the month of service that it was issued. Customers are only eligible to receive support services while they are enrolled and active in a SNAP ENT activity. Therefore, costs may only be added for dates that coincide with an active SNAP ENT activity. To add a new service, click on Add Support Services. Find the support service that you want to add and click the blue Add link. The service will now show on the list at the top of the Activities and Services page. Click on the blue pencil icon. A page will open where you can edit the new service. You'll notice that a new service not associated with a goal will display the message, "Dollar value cannot be added to a service until they are assigned to a goal, provider, and marked as started open." So you'll need to do all of these things. Associate the service with a goal, change the status to started open, and choose a start date. Then click on the Service Provider tab and make sure that your organization is chosen as the service provider. Then click Update Customer Service. To add a cost to the service, click on the new tab that appears above that says Dollar Value of Service. Click the Add Service Cost button. A pop-up window will load. Select the service subtype. Select the payment method, the start date, and the individual payment cost. For example, a single monthly bus pass might cost $75. Enter the number of times you gave them that pass. This will usually be 1. Enter what source the service was paid by. This is usually the grant. If you are a SNAP to Success or 50/50 match program, you may need to choose Leveraged Resource. The supportive service is only added once for the entire period of time the customer is participating in SNAP ENT. When supportive service payments, a bus pass, a gift card, or a direct payment, are made, each one is entered as a new service cost. If a customer gets close to the maximum allowable amount for a supportive service, it is a good idea to notify the customer and make plans for how you will either discontinue the service or request approval to exceed the maximum amount. Exceeding the maximum is not automatically disallowed. However, you must make the case that the service is reasonable and necessary for the customer to succeed in their goals. Support services can either be viewed in the Support Services section of the Overview or by clicking on the Summary Tools section at the top of the Overview. In both cases, the service category will be listed and the total amount the customer has received this fiscal year will be shown. The percentage of the total allowable yearly cost will also be shown so that you can determine how close the customer is to reaching the maximum allowable amount for this service. If you need to add additional support service costs, you can either click the Support Service Category link from the Summary Tools, or you can click the Support Service Category link from the Overview page. Either way, that will take you directly to the support service. You can click on Dollar Value of Service and add an additional cost. If you have a cost that you're adding that will exceed the customer's maximum allowed amount for that category, enter it into the system and click Save. You will be prompted to submit an override request to finish the submission. You must explain why you're requesting the increase and how it is necessary to help the customer meet their goals. And submit the request. When an override request is submitted, it will show in the Service Overrides section. An IDHS manager will approve the override if it is accepted.